Hi everyone, welcome to Divine Sacred Tarot. So yesterday I ended up doing a reading recording. This was the last video that is actually aired on Divine Sacred Tarot. Before this one, I was talking about the anger that the masculines may be going through, a lot of throat chakra purging, and if you as the first awakened are actually feeling the throat chakra, that's definitely something that has become a little bit more prominent in your current state. You're being more aware of not only your feelings but the people around you, and this is why it's really important that you end up cutting off your energy, protecting yourself, going through the specific tools and rituals that help you not have your energy siphoned away. Um, a lot of times in twin flames, the divine masculines tend to rely on the divine feminine's energy to do the majority of the work and the transmuting. And since the divine feminines have been putting on their own sovereign crown, taking on the responsibility of starting again through various ways. You may be starting new projects or, still undergoing the foundations of these new versions of yourself that you're becoming. And the divine masculine could be stuck in their own cycle, right? It's a part of them that is frozen, the pattern that they are feeling this karmic entanglement. And it's not necessarily a person, but it could be an energetic bond that is keeping them looping in the same place. So I actually wrote out, I do apologize if I end up coughing during this reading, but I'm definitely feeling that there is a masculine who is trying to remember their soul. And I was intending to do a Celtic cross reading. And I'm just going to take a cup of my hot cocoa just a second. So I stop myself from coughing. I wanted to do a Celtic cross and I ended up picking up the cards, and the King of Swords was at the bottom of the deck. I always find that really interesting that there is this lack of communication, but it's also understanding the way that they need to communicate with themselves. So there's going to be this hesitation to communicate. I feel like that is probably why you are hearing me go through a lot of throat chakra purging, a lot of healers, star seeds, ancestral information is being passed through to you. If that has happened to you in the last few days, weeks, even if you've got a tickly throat, that is your energy trying to transmute a lot of the collective energy. But it's asking you to understand what is happening, what is being presented to you at this time, because your Lord Divine Masculine is definitely wanting to remember their soul. I feel like that is one of the main triggers that happens when you are around them. When they are around you, they go through this natural death and rebirth cycle. So the King of Swords, the King of Pentacles, the Death card all wanted to come through. All of these cards just have come up as this cycle has needed to change. They wanted to come out of this state of pause, this frozen entanglement with the karmic. And again, it's not necessarily a person, it could be just this energetic bond that is keeping them looping in the same pain. And as the first awakened, we know what that feels like. We understand how much effort it requires to continue to move past that, to transmute it. And this energetic bond is obviously looping them back into the same pain. So we can use our compassion and understand that that is something that we too have gone through. But I'm also seeing the divine feminine representing Lilith here. And I find it fascinating that Lilith in itself, this divine goddess, is sometimes, misunderstood because she represents the shadow of the divine feminine, the unclaimed sensuality, the repressed desires, this feminine that the masculine has exiled because they have feared her power, right? Sometimes your masculine could feel a little bit fearful around your power. Like there is this desire, but there's also a fear around that as well. I feel like some of you may have channeled this specific message when you first came into contact with your person. But Lilith isn't a representation of a twin flame, but that is certainly a part of the feminine the masculine has not really integrated within themselves. So, as a divine feminine, you've been learning to integrate things for yourself and combine the alchemical process between you and your inner divine masculine, right? Well, the masculine is trying to fight their old paradigm and they're trying to unlock the feminine energies within themselves. And I feel like the divine masculine is not only fighting that old paradigm because we've got the death and rebirth card, but we've also got the Page of Swords, the Magician, the Page of Pentacles. Like all of these things are taking the steps forward, and it's just literally increased the rain outside of my window tenfold. Like it is pelting it down. And so what I'm seeing from that is a lot of this is being purged back into Mother Earth. It's being purged back into the ground. Anything that is happening at this time can feel quite um important. It can shake the divine masculine into their core because again, it is like that tower moment that we had at the end of the last reading. The masculine is trying to fight that old paradigm. There is this confrontation of this karmic energy that, again, it is quite difficult to overcome because we've been in that situation where we don't want to be controlled by our karmics. And the masculine, it doesn't matter what area that they are sinking into, right? It could be um, a karmic connection, it could be a relationship, it could be anger, shame, unhealed wounds, generational trauma, all of those ego survival instincts that have come to the masculines. But there is a masculine who is definitely fighting the ego's incessant need to hold on to that control, to hold on to that ego. The snake is resisting the fact that you need to shed your skin. Like the snake is the befriending this ego death, not fearing it. And that's what I'm getting regarding the divine masculines, understanding the desire and the fear within themselves around the divine feminine within. So yeah, they do need to confront their karmic energy right now, and that again could lead to a lot of chakra rebalancing. Now, there is also this facing the fear of the feminine. Wow, the rain is literally just pelting it down. I know you won't be able to hear it on my microphone, but it is torrential out there. And I'm definitely feeling that they are trying to face the fear of their own inner feminine. How are they able to balance their divine masculine and feminine within? They are wrestling a part of themselves that resist that transformation, as I said. Like they could be battling this ego death, this shedding of the old skin, and it's actually caused them a lot of resistance. It's caused them that push-pull energy within themselves. We do have the Queen of Wands and the Six of Wands here, and the Magician. So I feel like there is this pivot into you may not know what the benefit of this ego death will be. You won't be able to see what the hope, what the positive outcome will be, but you are allowing yourself to acknowledge the death and rebirth will always be for the highest and best good, like almost setting the intention of having faith that it will always work out. And so, as the divine masculines are trying to understand that thread, trying to understand the fire is there to burn the old version of themselves to come into this sense of victory. It's going to become um, quite apparent for them. I'm just going to do a few cards and I'm just going to pull a few cards randomly right now instead of doing that to Celtic Cross because I feel like there was a major message about this death and rebirth. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? The Queen of Wands and the Strength card wanted to come out again, and the Hanged Man. So three major arcana. There is this pause, there is this reset button, there is this acknowledging that the fire can, end up releasing the old version of you so the new version of you can be reborn. I feel like a lot of divine feminines have been doing that. We've got a card of possibilities. I feel like that's an extra major arcana in this deck. But it actually says that you can use the fire in your favor. You don't need to be left out in the cold, but you do need to embrace your will, your love, your strength. And we've got the Emperor card coming out here because that was literally going to be my next line. I was going to talk about preparing to evolve to be the Emperor. The divine masculine, if you're listening to this on behalf of your person, but also on behalf of you and your connection, they aren't resisting you. And as soon as I said that, my throat cleared up. Like, yeah, it's still hurting, but it always comes and goes during readings, which is why I come online to really understand the ebbs and flows, the energy. And when there is a clearing around my throat chakra, I know that spirit has asked me to deliver these messages. So there's a reason why we've got the Emperor card coming out right at the end, just saying like they just need to believe and trust in themselves, that they need to speak up about how they feel. Ace of Swords, they need to understand that this is a very important connection. The Judgment, the Two of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Six of Swords. There is a lot of overthinking about this connection. It needs to be a connection that helps them balance the ability to give and receive. They've not had an example of what love feels and looks like. So they have to go through this death and rebirth. So they haven't been resisting you. They've been confronting the wounds that they've never found it. They've never had the ability to completely face. There's always something looking at the back of the closet, and it does mean that they are fighting for the old version of themselves because they don't know what the new version will be victorious in, right? So we know that there are different elements of karmic energy, and we can shift the karma in our favor. So this is what the divine masculines are learning to trust the divine feminine within in order for them to free themselves from those karmic cycles. And that is why they need to make room for the emperor within. So I feel like that is such a beautiful, incredible message to be able to channel. And if this is something that you have resonated within, please, please do let me know. I love hearing from you. And I'd love to, read your comments and engage with you all. Let me know if you liked it. Hit the like button. And I will speak with you all very, very soon. So much love. Bye for now.